Welcome back, team. My name is Andrea, and as you know, if you are here with me following along, I'm talking about my experience going through litigation with the Phoenix Suns and Mercury. Now, since they continue to try to make excuses and try to get out of taking accountability and they're taking responsibility for what they've done to me, I guess it's on to what you should and should not do, part two. So, just like the last time, we'll get started with my former boss. When you have reached the pinnacle of your career and you are the head of HR, human services, or like some people now call it people and culture, and you decide to discipline people, you should discipline people the same because that avoids any accusations about retaliation or discrimination and all of those things. So, as you know, after Jessica McNeese, a young white female, yelled in my face, got in my face, verbally assaulted me, got loud with me like she does with a lot of people at work, and then lied about what happened, she went back to Kim, our former boss, and we are now here in litigation due to wrongful termination. So, if you are going to put someone on a performance improvement plan, like Miss Kimberly chose to do with me, here are some things that you should definitely do if you are the head of HR. First of all, your documentation should be on the organization's letterhead. It should be not just open up Microsoft Word and start typing. That is what my PIP looked like. My PIP looked like she opened up Microsoft Word and she just started typing. And by the end of it, it looked like a full job description rather than a performance improvement plan. It was vague. And if you are not aware, a performance improvement plan is a real disciplinary action that you put on someone if they have been engaging in behaviors that they shouldn't be, if their work is not up to par. But Miss Kimberly put me on a performance improvement plan because I got yelled at by a white female who then lied about what happened. And despite this being in a professional basketball arena where there are cameras everywhere, she decided the best way to get rid of me was to put me on a performance improvement plan, a 30-day performance improvement plan that had over 20 items on it, to the point where it really did look like a job description. Now, if you find yourself in a place where you're a manager, you're a team lead, and you have to put someone on a PIP, here are some things that you actually should do. One, you should explicitly state why that person is being put on a performance improvement plan, whether in the email that you send it with the attachment or on the actual performance improvement plan. There should be explicit reasons of why this person's on a performance improvement plan. There should be dates of when you've talked to this person about their performance, not meeting up to the performance, not getting along with other people, and it should be well documented with dates, exact dates. Because if you've made it to being the head of HR, of course you should know how to do that, right? Right? Right, Kimberly? But I guess she didn't know how to do those things. I don't know. And then while your employee is on a performance improvement plan, you should be having weekly meetings with them because you should be talking to them about what's wrong with their performance and be documenting and tracking where they are on the performance improvement plan. Are they meeting it? Are they exceeding it? Do they still have work to do? And then, of course, after you have that meeting, you should set a meeting recap email, which lays out what you've discussed, what you talked about, what you liked, what you don't like, and that should occur every week. Now, I ended up being on this performance improvement plan for about 7 weeks, I think. And do you think at the entire 7 weeks that I was on a performance improvement plan that she ever met with me to discuss it? No. Do you think there was any emails documenting the conversations that we had about my performance? No, because it wasn't about the performance. She was strictly using this as a tool to remove me from my position and say that I was fired for cause, which, as we know, is complete BS. You should also be documenting every conversation that you have with that employee. There should be emails. And as the head of HR, you should be able to submit said documentation to an unemployment office or the Attorney General's office or the EEOC. Do you think the Phoenix Suns of Mercury or Miss Kimberly has any of that documentation? No, because never did she meet with me. And the one time I actually asked her about where I was tracking, she told me that, well, you either get the work done or you don't. That is not a professional answer.